comfortable when dealing with a customer. You'll be relieved to know that the actual identity of the fabric you're cleaning is rarely necessary. There are really only two categories of fabric: natural fabrics, which are woven from fibers found in nature; synthetic fabrics, which are man-made. Most upholstery is still made with natural fibers because natural fibers are softer, breathe easier, and are more comfortable. In fact, manufacturers have become so creative that by varying the thickness of a synthetic fiber and with the proper amount of crimping or combing, they can make a synthetic fabric look like wool or some other natural fabric. Some synthetic fibers and natural fibers are blended together in an effort to give you the best of both worlds. Other effects are also possible by varying the fabric weave. Satin, for instance, is a weave, not a special fabric as most people believe. When a woven fabric has a third set of fibers sticking up through the weave, it is magically transformed into velvet. Velvet is not a particular fabric. It is simply a weave. Haitian cotton differs from normal cotton in that it is not processed, leaving seeds, twigs, and dirt in the fabric. It's also possible to set different designs on top of a finished fabric. One popular design is the moire. This design resembles a wood grain effect. If a moire design is set on a synthetic, such as acetate, it is considered permanent. If the design is set onto a natural fabric, it may disappear during cleaning. Later on in the program, we'll show you how to test a fabric to see if it's made out of natural or synthetic fibers. Before cleaning, it's important to learn the characteristics of the basic cleaning chemicals. Each chemical has its own pH factor. The pH tells you whether a cleaning product is safe, too alkaline, or too acidic for use in cleaning a particular fabric. For safety, we always want a cleaning product having a pH in the neutral range, between 7 and 9. A pH reading is also valuable when testing an unknown spot. First, wet the stain. Then, take a pH reading. The pH reads 9, or 2 points above neutral. To reach neutral, we choose a cleaning product with a pH of 5, or 2 points below neutral. Tannin has a pH level of approximately 5. Tannin neutralizes and removes the stain. Use the same procedure for reversing a color change. White or very light fabrics may brown if cleaned with too high a pH product. Fabrics may also brown if they're left wet and allowed to dry slowly. Usually, an acetic acid or tannin acid product will remove browning. In this example, we've cleaned half of the fabric and removed the browning. Some confusion exists as to what a dry cleaning solvent is. Simply, a dry cleaning solvent is a liquid which does not contain any water, hence dry. There are two categories of solvents: chlorinated and non-chlorinated. Although chlorinated solvents clean better, they emit strong fumes, which can be harmful if inhaled. A popular non-chlorinated solvent is mineral spirits. Formula 800 is a mineral spirits product completely formulated for dry cleaning. Below its flash point, a solvent is considered non-flammable. Above this temperature, the solution will burn if ignited. It's best to work with a cleaning solvent having a flash point of at least 135 degrees. When purchasing cleaning products, request a material safety data sheet. This sheet will identify the product ingredients and the flash point. It will also alert you to any potential product hazards. When using wet cleaning chemicals, heating up to 200 degrees will increase cleaning efficiency 3,000%. That's correct, a 3,000% increase in cleaning efficiency. Solvents, however, should not be heated above 125 degrees for safety. Working at this temperature is safe and will ensure maximum cleaning results. Before cleaning a piece of furniture, you must first decide if it should be wet or dry cleaned. Most fabrics can be wet cleaned. Dry cleaning, however, is a must on some fabrics and invaluable when cleaning bleeders. A bleeder is a fabric in which the dye runs. To determine the best way to clean a fabric, we test for bleeding and stability. Many professionals perform a bleeding test by rubbing a white cloth, wet with cleaning solution, across the surface of a fabric. This is an inaccurate test. If there is color transfer or crocking, it doesn't necessarily mean the fabric is a true bleeder. You may be simply wiping off some of the excess dye. Approximately 30% of all fabric will crock, and less than 5% are bleeders. In our test for a bleeder, we first test the fabric by applying cleaning solution using a small test bottle with an applicator cap. The pH of the pre-spray should be approximately 10. This will give you a little overkill. Do your testing in the zippered areas. Begin working in a spot approximately the size of a quarter. Work both the inside and outside of the fabric. Rub the solution into the fabric vigorously so as to work through any protective coatings, such as Scotchgard. Test each color separately. If there are 5 colors, make 5 tests. It takes approximately 20 minutes for each test spot to dry. If the fabric is a bleeder, the actual migration or bleeding of the color will take place within the last few minutes of the test. Another procedure is to clothespin or clamp both sides of the fabric with a saturated cloth. 15 to 20 minutes is usually adequate, but if there is any doubt, even 24 hours is not too long. Don't use a hairdryer to speed up the test. Fast drying of the test spot can dry the cleaning chemicals before any bleeding occurs. Check inside cushions for any magic marker lines or numbers. Sometimes manufacturers will mark the foam or the fabric for ID purposes. If the cushions have no zippers, you can gain access from the underside of the couch, but remember to restaple the bottom cover. When cleaning, you can prevent the marks on the foam from bleeding through the fabric by placing plastic between the foam and the fabric. Remove the plastic after the fabric is completely dry. If there are any marks on the inside of the fabric itself, they will most likely bleed through during the cleaning. Have the customer sign a waiver or turn this job down. If you find yourself in a situation with a mark bleeding through to the surface, use your exhaust hose to drive it back down until dry, or use this unique spotting tool to suck it out from underneath. You may want the customer to sign a waiver or turn a job down if one of the following applies. There is no way to inspect the fabric. There are marks on the inside of the fabric that may bleed. The latex backing is crumbling or powdery. Latex holds the fabric together. If it's deteriorating, it could be pulled through to the surface as you clean. A latex fabric can be safely cleaned with non-chlorinated solvents or water-based cleaning products. Chlorinated solvents will dissolve the latex. Next, test the fabric for stability. A bone scraper is a very handy tool for this test. Gently try to separate the yarns of the fabric to determine any weakness. Test the trouble areas such as hair oil spots, spills, faded areas, and quilting. Also, check to see if the skirts or flounces have pulled away from the frame. Check the welting to make sure it's still in good condition. Check the zipper areas. Sometimes they're torn or pulled away. Look for cigarette burn holes. If you're testing for Haitian cotton, the fabric can be identified by its uneven, bumpy texture. This unprocessed cotton will reveal seeds and small pieces of husk if viewed through a magnifying glass. To determine if the Haitian cotton is natural or synthetic, cut off a piece of excess material and perform a burn test. If it's natural material, it will burn, leaving soft ash. If it's a synthetic, the tendency will be to melt rather than burn, leaving a hard black bead. There are special cleaning procedures for natural Haitian cotton. We will cover these later in the video. Before we begin cleaning, we want to be sure there will be no surprises. You have to be a little bit of a detective.